Welcome to the Torpedo Stadium here on the banks of the Moskva River. And the river is very swollen today, I can tell you. We've had torrential rain in Moscow all day. Traffic jams all around the city. The United team coach delayed on its way to the stadium. But all is well now. We're kicking off just a little behind schedule. Torpedo Moscow in the white shirts and black shorts will be attacking from right to left here in the first half. Manchester United, of course, in their familiar strip of red shirts and white shorts. You've seen the team changes for Manchester United as Bruce is beaten by Talalayev. Peter Schmeichel coming into the United side tonight. He didn't play in the first leg because of the complications of the UEFA rules these days. You're only allowed 3 foreign players and 2 assimilated, as they call them, that is, players who've been in the country for 5 years or more. Schmeichel, Hughes, McClare, the 3 foreigners for Manchester United. Erwin and Ryan Giggs, the Welshman, the 2 assimilated players. The referee today is from Denmark, Jan Damgaard. The stadium here only half full because of the rain and the unusually early kickoff time. The time here in Moscow 2 hours ahead of British time, so it's only about 5:15 in the afternoon. A small stadium. The pitch, not really to Manchester United's liking. They came and trained on it last night, and Alex Ferguson and the players said it's a little uneven, a little bumpy, and obviously now very, very wet. Erwin wearing number 2, but playing at left back, getting the ball out to Giggs on the far side. The interception by the tall Vostro Sablin. As you've heard, just one change in the Torpedo side from the away leg for them at Old Trafford. They brought in an attacking player, Kozhumov, in place of a defender, Martinov, who's now on the bench. Free kick to Manchester United. Taking over in midfield, Paul Ince, who didn't play in the first leg because he was suspended. 4 is the United captain, Steve Bruce. Looking for some movement up front. And finally chipped it in over the head of Wallace and the small sweeper. Number 3, Cheltsov, allows it through to his goalkeeper and captain, Podshivalov. Torpedo looks a difficult side to break down in the first match at Old Trafford. The question is, now that they have to be more adventurous at home, will they be any more effective? Grishin with the through ball, but the linesman signalling offside. Well, alongside me today, as he was at Old Trafford a fortnight ago, Dennis Law. Dennis, how do you see this game working out for United?
Well, I think I agree with Ron to a certain extent. I mean, it's pointless to say that United have got to be patient, because that's exactly what they've got to do. They're good. I mean, it was a bad result at Manchester, but if there was one good thing about it, of course, they didn't concede a goal. And as we all know, that away goals count too. United could come here, and if they get their score draw, then they'll go through. I didn't see anything in Manchester regarding Torpedo Moscow to be afraid of them at all. They were very competent on the ball, but I didn't see them scoring many goals. In the home ground, that could be different. I think United have got a great chance to go through tonight.
Neil Webb with the through ball for Hughes to chase. The sweeper Cheltsov across quickly and concedes the throw. About 400 or 500 Manchester United supporters have made this long and difficult journey to the Russian capital to support their team here as the throw-in goes to Hughes again near post, and he whipped it across dangerously, and that was the first real opening, and it's produced the first real corner for Manchester United. Dangerous cross from Hughes, and I think it was Vostro Sablin who got the ball away for a corner kick. Podshivalov organising his defenders. Pallister and Bruce both forward for the corner, but it went in a bit too flat and low to this near side. Ryan McClare, an important man for United today. Neil Webb wearing 5, a rare opportunity for him to lay his claim for a regular place. Number 4 there, Afanasiev, marking Wallace, who helps it back to Webb. And again, the interception by Cheltsov. Phelan, who's come in at right back today for Manchester United. Wallace, and given away by Danny Wallace, who, like Webb, sees these European games as a major opportunity to remind people he's around and a first-team prospect. Don't play many games in the first team these days, Webb and Wallace. Bruce. The layoff by Webb. Inch finding Irwin on the left-hand side. Ryan Giggs, the 18-year-old who didn't play, remember, in the first match, and I think he could be the key to it for Manchester United tonight.
I don't only think that Giggs could be it. I think Hughes, and particularly with Brian Robson on the bench, there's a possibility that he could come on, and with his great experience. But when you say about the pitch, Alan, it was a bit rough, but we've had torrential rain here in Moscow today, and it really is a forwards pitch. I always would like to play in a pitch like this, and I think there's the likes of Giggs and Hughes will be very prominent in Manchester United's attacking.
Giggs again in possession on that left-hand side, beats the first defender. The second challenge got the ball away from him, though. Now in midfield is Chugainov, the number 10, looking for Talalayev, the blonde centre-forward, who turned neatly and is then brought down by Pallister. No, the referee has said play on. Chugainov in possession. Over the head of Webb. Wallace is there to get it clear to Ince. And Pallister will be concerned the way Talalayev turned and got away from him then. And the first shot of any note in the game, going wide of target. Yury Mironov, the coach of Torpedo Moscow, who's only been in charge of the side a couple of months, knowing that his side faced a difficult match tonight against the much-respected Manchester United. Pallister then bringing down Talalayev. The referee waved play on, and it was Grishin who finally got the shot in, just wide of target. Up forward by Bruce. Hughes couldn't control it.
This is a spectacular point, isn't it, to commentate again. I don't know if the people at home know, but we're actually doing the commentary from a bus just outside the track from the open door. And the only thing about it, Alan, really, is that the bus is not going around the track, because we can't see the far side, can we?
Yes, I must say, if you'll pardon the expression, I've done it standing on a roof from behind the goal and on the touchline, commentating, I mean, but never from the open door of a bus. This is a first. Bruce concedes another corner as Afanasiev, the central defender, gets forward, and stadium only about half full, as I was saying today, but Manchester United, the biggest draw for the Muscovites, the biggest football club in Britain as far as they're concerned. Good-looking cross by Shustikov. Bruce gets it clear. Chugainov with the shot, and well watched by Peter Schmeichel. And on this greasy surface, any shot from any range could pose a problem.
I think when you get to that distance, as you say, Al, you've got to have a crack here. It's so greasy, the ball could skid so and swerve. If anybody is around there, and this is where you've got to be careful you don't concede too many kicks around the penalty area.
8 minutes gone, still 0-0 here. 0-0 the score, remember, in the first leg at Old Trafford. Torpedo on the attack again with the number 2, Filimonov. Then Shustikov in midfield, finding the little man Grishin, who had a good game at Old Trafford, the number 7. Shustikov again. Vostrosablin, the tall defender. And United, good pressure then in midfield, forcing Torpedo all the way back to their goalkeeper, Podshivalov, who's also the captain of the side, and forced to concede the throw. I say forced, he wasn't under any immediate pressure, panicked a little bit. Wallace. Webb. That looked like a foul on Wallace, and the referee, in actual fact, has given the free kick Torpedo's way, rather surprisingly. Afanasiev, the number 4 here. Bit of a middle-of-the-road side in terms of Soviet football, Torpedo Moscow. They've got a newly organised league in the CIS, as it is these days. And Torpedo failed to make the playoffs for the championship. They're in the bottom half of the 2 sections league table they have here now. A couple of internationals in the side and a couple of fringe internationals. But an experienced team in Europe. Pallister playing it forward, looking for Wallace, headed away by Afanasiev. Another throw for United. Back it goes to Webb. Now Wallace. Ince pointing to where he wanted it on the near post. Wallace comes in field though and finds the number 3, Mickey Phelan.
Didn't know if that was quite a shot or a cross, but it's been a reasonably good start for Manchester United, hasn't it? Quite comfortable, not really been under great deal of pressure whatsoever. And if they could sort of get a hold of Grecian and Shustakov in midfield, who played quite well in the first game at Old Trafford, but with Ince in there for Manchester United, I think he's going to sit on Shustakov and stop him creating the moves that we saw at Old Trafford.
10.5 minutes gone. Still Torpedo Moscow 0, Manchester United 0. Kamalaya beaten and well beaten in the challenge by Neil Webb, but still Torpedo press on that far side with Vostro-Sablin, then little Grishin hugging the right touchline. Shustakov always available, always looking for the ball in midfield. And again feeds Vostro-Sablin on the right. Palalaya. Easy interception by Giggs. Pallister. Ince takes over. Hughes. And the referee saying that was a fair tackle on Hughes. Phelan's got a motor here, so is Schmeichel. And the big goalkeeper gets there first. And an enormous clearance has forced his opposite number, Podchivalov, to make a timely interception. Good work that by Schmeichel, who adds so much presence to Manchester United when he plays. No criticism of the young goalkeeper Gary Walsh, who played in the first match at Old Trafford, but Schmeichel's physical presence, I'm sure, has a lot of uplifting effect on the players around him. Vostro-Sablin getting it forward, looking for the 11 Koshimov, but couldn't find him. Phelan went down with a crack in the face a moment ago, but he's on his feet again, the United fullback. Brian McClare has Giggs on the left touchline. And Giggs does well to round the defender, and Grishin cut out the cross. If it goes, it'll be a corner in that far corner of the stadium from where we're standing in our number 58 bus. No one rings the bell because we're really in trouble then. Irwin has come across to take it and hooks it up towards the near post where it's well cleared by Afanasiev. Floodlight's not too clever here either. It's a small and very open stadium. Wallace. Phelan. Ince taking over in midfield. Back it goes from Webb to Phelan. And Torpedo have it back. Grishin on the right. One of the great favourites of the home supporters. Shustakov with a little layoff, but well read by Pallister. This is Manchester United's 101st tie in European competition today, incidentally, and their first ever visit to Russia. Would any Soviet or former Soviet country come to that? Here's Grishin in possession for Torpedo. Palalayev to his right. Koshimov in a central position. And Chigainov making a good run right through the middle of the United defence. Schmeichel did well again there. Good work, Dennis. No problem at all for Schmeichel. That was a good through ball, and in this particularly greasy pitch. But as you could see the player going through there, there's no danger that Schmeichel is going to come up and get it. But when you think they've played 60 minutes now, there's been a good start for United. Whatever sort of attacks that Torpedo Moscow have had, they've calmed them down. They made a couple themselves.
If they could bring Giggs and Wallace into it on both flanks and get the ball into Hughes, then I think United will start to get stronger. But at the moment, they've done quite well.
Phelan beaten to it by Pozhumov, but Ince cleaning it up in the middle of the field. Then Salalayev intercepts. Pozhumov again. Salalayev has gone down injured. And that's who that ball was intended for. He made a miraculous recovery, didn't he? And he's gone down again from Webb's challenge. And I think the referee rather bought the dive there, as Neil Webb is indicating. Funnily enough, I thought he might have been fouled in the first challenge, but not the second one.
I would agree with that. I thought that Ince certainly got him in the first, and he did look at it. It just shows you a little bit of play acting there. Lovely dive. There, I thought he'd got him there. And the referee let play go on.
Salalayev himself has gone forward for the free kick here. He's laid short to Chugainov. Vostrosavlin. Further out to that right-hand side. They've got a lot of players forward here. 9-10 inside the United half. It goes forward towards Afanasiev, headed away by Bruce. Good clearance by the United captain. And the ball literally a few yards from our bus. Afanasiev, Phelan across the cover. Afanasiev tries to go between the two defenders. Phelan getting it forward. Good control by Hughes, then he's dispossessed. Shustikov now. Vishin, Afanasiev, Pozhumov. That's the useful looking ball. Vishin getting it behind Irwin, but to be fair, I think Irwin knew exactly where the danger was coming from them and just shielded the ball out of play. .5 minutes completed. I'm sure a lot of people at this unusual time of the day will be just coming in from work and joining us. It's Manchester United 0, Torpedo Moscow 0 here in Moscow. This second leg of Manchester United's tie. Hughes. Giggs. And gets the cross in towards Hughes. Cleared away though by Mironov. Wallace. And now Webb. Bruce calling for the ball on the halfway line and gets it. Pallister. And the two centre-backs combined. Made about 20 yards into the Torpedo half. Ball finds Hughes. Phelan just gets there and gets a good-looking cross in, but I'm afraid he just carried the ball over the touchline. Goal kick.
But it was good play by Man United. They're doing everything right. They're not getting under a great deal of pressure. They're knocking the ball about. If the pass isn't on, they've knocked it back. They've knocked it across. And at the moment, I'm sure that the players are feeling very happy with the way the game is going.
A good steady start by Manchester United. Pallister's clearance. Shustikov. Vostrosavlin. Back to the tall defender. Shustikov is there again. He very much threads things together. For Torpedo in the middle. But Pallister wins it back to United. Now Danny Wallace. On to Brian McClare. And that's a foul. United's free kick. And they've again chosen to send both Pallister and Bruce forward. Hooked in by Webb to the far post. That's a good header and well taken by the goalkeeper.
That was a good cross to the far post. Bruce very much unmarked, but when you look at the distance, Alan, I mean, he's got a good header in, but really it was so far out. Mind you, if it hit the ground first, it could have caused a little problem for the goalkeeper. Good work by Ince. Read the danger nicely then and finds Webb.
Now Phelan. Hughes dispossessed but fouled. Mironov claims that he won the ball, but the referee was well placed and awards the free kick to Manchester United. Again, Pallister has gone forward with Bruce, and it's aimed up towards the two big centre-backs. Bruce is there to win it again. Well, and Hughes gets the shot in, and the goalkeeper had no real problem.
I did just show you that far ball to the post. Hughes didn't get quite a hold of it there, didn't he? It was a good turn, did well, but didn't quite get a hold.
Towering clearance by Pallister. It comes straight back into the United half. Now Webb. Phelan. Wallace. And the foul by Phelan. Mironov takes the free kick quickly. Shustikov. Rishin. Very fluid sort of side. A lot of interchange of positions amongst the midfielders. They basically play five across the middle of the field as well. But genuinely two real attacking players today. They only had one at Old Trafford a fortnight ago. Here he is, Talalaya. And he again felt he should have had a free kick then, but over-dramatised the fall perhaps. Here's Hughes for United.
Well, as you said, Alan, they are a very comfortable side, aren't they? Now, I certainly hope I don't put the muckers on Manchester United, but they don't look a great deal of threatening. It doesn't look at any threatening power up. All right, they put another forward up there. But even so, they knock it about nice in midfield, nice little ball, but they don't look dangerous.
Kalalaya's header. Looking for Pojumov. Pallister clears. Now Webb. Back it goes to Bruce. It's a terrific ball to Wallace. And Wallace has got round Afanasieff, but can't find a bit of daylight behind him. Phelan. In it goes to Hughes. Wallace again. Good attack this for Manchester United. He's only got a throw in out of it, but that'll do. In a good vein of form at the moment, United. After 5 successive wins, they've drawn their last 4 games. They're proving a very difficult side to score goals against, although they're not getting too many themselves. Here's Webb. Pallister now. Bruce. The rain continues to fall here in Moscow. The temperature drops as well. Quite a cold evening now in the Russian capital city. Midway through the first half, it's still 0-0. Bruce for Manchester United. That's one to test the goalkeeper, and Hughes got the shot in, and a scramble from which the goalkeeper came out with the ball.
Well, they got more confident, haven't they, as the game has progressed. Again, they've missed it more or less completely, but again, it just shows that United have been very good the first 50 minutes, and all of a sudden now they're trying to knock 2 or 3 attacks together and get that goal, which will be so important.
Yes, away goals, remember, so important in these European ties. We talked about the possibility of extra time tonight. Only a 0-0 scoreline after 90 minutes can produce extra time, of course, as Ince wins the ball back to United, but concedes a free kick in the process. Manchester United in their 16th season in Europe, and remember they won the Winners' Cup 2 seasons ago, but went out in the second round last season against Atletico Madrid. In fact, this is the only competition at the UEFA that Manchester United have never won. Torpedo Moscow have never been further than the quarter-finals in any of their seasons in Europe. Talalaya. Shustikov. Did well, Shustikov, and indeed was fouled by Bruce. And the referee reaches for the back pocket and produces a yellow card for the Manchester United captain. A bit harsh, in my opinion. That decision by the referee. Has to take allowance for the wet pitch sliding tackles like that can often look worse than they are. Sablin is himself dispossessed then by Ince. Now Hughes. Phelan getting it forward. Finding McClare. Clare doing well to hold off the defender. Webb chips it forward. A great ball. Phelan. On it goes to Giggs, but he's offside. Giggs switching now from the left to the right. But the linesman eagle-eyed. Free kick to Torpedo, who themselves are in their 14th season in Europe. And as I say, their best performance reaching the quarter-final, something they've done 3 times. In the Cup Winners' Cup twice, and this UEFA competition in 1990-91. Chelfrott for a sweeper, hammers it forward. Pallister winning it back and finds Webb. Pallister. Good little ball infield to Hughes, who turned away from the defender and finds Brian McClare. McClare tries the shot. A bit ambitious from that range, perhaps. And Torpedo has possession back again with Shustikov. On it goes from Chugainov, and a useful ball. Danger here as Talalayev makes a good run. And also Pozhumov, but the cross didn't come in quickly enough. Now Grishin. A good run this, and pull back towards Pozhumov. And the first real moment of apprehension then for Manchester United. First time Torpedo have looked really dangerous.
And it really was. Should have been much more dangerous for United, wouldn't it? Chugainov on the right-hand side before. Should have crossed the first time because Talalayev, he had stolen off on the left-hand side. He should have crossed the first time. But then it came in, Grishin came into the box. Lots of bodies about. Didn't quite get it, and United were able to get rid of it.
Webb brings it back for United. And plays it forward to Hughes. Giggs scrapping for possession. And the verdict is a throw-in. Torpedo, incidentally, one of 6 major football clubs in the capital. And Mironov's team, one of 3 in action, in fact, this week in the various European competitions. 4, in fact. They finished 3rd in the old USSR League a couple of seasons ago, but they have gone into decline somewhat since then. Chugainov in possession for them. Afanasiev. Play forward towards Grishin. It wasn't a good ball, and United beginning now to get some measure of control over this game, you feel. Hughes is dispossessed, though. Good run this. The tall number 2, Mironov, finding little Grishin on the right. He's looking again for Talalayev in the middle. The ball pulled back, and there's no offside verdict. And the referee, to the great relief of Manchester United, turned aside a rather half-hearted appeal, I feel, then, for a penalty kick. But although I said United were beginning to get some control, Dennis, there have been a couple of moments in the last few minutes when their goal has been under threat. Well, they've broken a couple of times on United's right. I don't know if we could actually quite say it there. It was a sort of half appeal, wasn't it, for a penalty? And to be fair, you know, when you're playing abroad sometimes, you see referees give penalties for far less, but from our position, didn't look a penalty. Yes, the Danish referee was bang on then. From our position, we couldn't be much closer. We're almost in the penalty area here, which makes the goal United are attacking a long way away from us at the moment. And it's crossed the line at that end for a goal kick. The crowd, those of them who can afford umbrellas, using them. And somewhere in there is our mad taxi driver who got us to the stadium despite the traffic jams. Thought nothing of driving the wrong way down one-way streets or scattering a few pedestrians on pavements, driving through building sites. Dennis looks at the coach. Not this one.
Well, he wouldn't have to worry about any knocks in his car anyway, is it?
No, they don't tend to be the cleanest vehicles here in Moscow. Mironov wins it back for Torpedo and finds Chugainov. A strong challenge by Ince in the middle. Now Webb. United players all did their tourist bit yesterday, incidentally. Took a trip to the Kremlin and Red Square and Basil's Cathedral and all the famous tourist spots. And what they really want to go home with, of course, is a win here and a place in the next round. We're into the last quarter of an hour of the first half, and they're partway towards achieving that objective. But then I guess Torpedo would say they are too. We haven't had any addition to the 0-0 scoreline from the first leg. Afanasiev for Torpedo. And Kozhimov a little bit weak in possession then. Brian McClare for Manchester United. He's given it away though. Mironov. And he's given it away too to Giggs. United made to pay for that. As Giggs loves to run at defenders, and he's taken on 3 of them, but the third was one too many.
And we haven't seen a great deal of Giggs, has he? It's mainly, today's game, it's mainly been very much midfield, isn't it?
Here's danger, but Schmeichel, well, he could play sweeper if he's as cool and calm as that.
Lovely header, wasn't it?
It was. Even found a man, which is more than Wallace did then. Grishin is on the right now. That's a useful ball forward. Good challenge, though, by Bruce. And then Wallace again, guilty of giving it away. Shustikov. Here's Grishin on the right. And he wins the throw. They've all been saying here in Moscow they expect Manchester United to make progress and beat their home team, but you often hear that in Europe. It's all part of the kidology. United haven't been fooled. Grishin in possession. Afanasiev calling for the ball. Grishin goes alone, and that was a good effort. And on a greasy pitch, it was extremely well dealt with by Schmeichel.
Very difficult indeed. He's a good little player, Grishin. He's come in, put on to his right foot and really hit it, and it sort of just bounced before Schmeichel. Schmeichel did well to hold it.
Good work from Grishin, who we've christened 2000. McClare for Manchester United, and a storming run from the back by Irwin. And not a bad-looking cross either, and Wallace is in there, but couldn't control it quickly enough. Webb now for United. Good ball to the far post. No, it wasn't really. All too easy for Kozhimov, the 28-year-old goalkeeper. Not one of the internationals in their side, by the way. But a good steady keeper who made a couple of fine saves at Old Trafford a fortnight ago, particularly one from Webb, I remember. Webb, who also hit the post. He also made a good save from a header by Wallace in that first leg. But generally speaking, there weren't many goal-scoring chances at Old Trafford, and there haven't been many as yet tonight.
Well, they've got quite confident, haven't they, the last 10 minutes. United have gone out of it a little bit. They know that they've got to get it. They've got to get a goal. United are quite happy the way that the game's going.
Pallister. Irwin. Whips it forward, looking for Hughes, but didn't find him, and it brings to Talalaya. Now then, he's all alone at the moment. He needs support, and it was very good work by Phelan to get back and dispossess him anyway.
But Talalaya, he has good skills for a big guy, hasn't he? But he hasn't got the pace. He has, you know, if I'd been on the other side, if I'd been a Wallace or something, he would have been right through.
There is Wallace, but the header inaccurate.
United need to get Wallace and Giggs much more into the game.
And now it's Torpedo using their wide men, in this case Afanasiev, the defender. Well, he should have done better really with the cross, and he knows it.
Well, of course, it's very difficult for defenders when the guy gets into the box there, and particularly in these conditions, in Afanasieff, he didn't do it, did he? It's a dangerous situation. His cross was a bad one when he came in, and you'll see when he doesn't know what to do here. He's in two minds. He's passed and balanced and knows that there's nobody there and just leaves it.
Just about 10 minutes remaining now in the first half in Moscow. Manchester United are still drawing 0-0 against Torpedo Moscow, so 0-0 still the aggregate score. Chugainov plays a good ball forward for Grishin. He's got Palalayev in the middle in a good position. Took his time about the cross, Shustikov header, and Schmeichel had it read all the way.
No, that's the third time, Alan, they've been in that situation, isn't it? And it's the third occasion that they've wasted it. There was Grishin. He should have knocked it in much, much earlier. He lays it back too late. The header far too far out.
I think Schmeichel was a bit unhappy, though, that he got that header in at all. Played here for Brøndby, incidentally, when he was playing back home in Denmark, Schmeichel. And they beat the home side here, Torpedo Moscow, in a penalty shootout in a quarter-final match. Torpedo haven't actually lost a match, so to speak, at home in 25 attempts in European football, but they've lost twice at home in penalty shootouts. Here's kick for Manchester United. Beautiful play right round the defender, and Rosie shot it right into the midriff of Podshivalo. Alex Ferguson and Brian Kidd, the United management team, just leaning forward to have some tactical advice.
I think the tactical advice, Alan, is to get the ball off the gate. He's in the side. He is a very talented player. We saw a couple of occasions a minute ago. The shot itself was not particularly good, but that's, I mean, they obviously fear him, and therefore I'm sure that Alex will say in the second half, listen, knock the ball out to Giggs, let him get behind the Torpedo defence, and get the ball into Hughes or McLean.
Alistair for Manchester United. United slowing it down. And Robson, I gather, is on the touchline with his tracksuit off, so it looks as though Manchester United are about to bring him on. Can't quite see it from where we're peering out of our number 58 bus here. But it looks certainly as though Jim McGregor, the United physio, has come over to catch the referee's attention, and that Brian Robson is about to come on as Palalayev goes down, and Hughes is the second United player shown the yellow card for the challenge on him. And there indeed is Brian Robson, who replaces Danny Wallace. Now, whether that's an injury or a tactical substitution, I'm not sure, but Brian Robson hasn't played since a pre-season hamstring injury. And, of course, there isn't an injury known to man that Brian Robson hasn't had. 35 now, but I'm sure that'll be a great sight, with due respect to Danny Wallace, for the other United players to see their captain back in their midst again for the first time this season.
Yeah, whatever the reason being, Alan, whether it's through injury or it's a tactical move, the fact that Robson is on the pitch, I know he hasn't played for a couple of months, but he is a very much an inspirational player, isn't he? He gets other players playing, and with his tremendous experience at this level, that could only be good for Manchester United, can't it?
7 minutes to half-time, and the substitution was made. As Hughes skips around the last defender, Mironov, but he got the ball away from him still, and then Phelan is dispossessed by Pozhimov, who gives it away to Webb. A little spell again from United. Webb hitting it in, far post. Grishin comes back to help his defenders. Not much help that. He gave the ball straight to Pallister. In. Good run by Ince. And slides it through for McClare. Done well to hold possession so long here, but as I say that, he gives it away to Afanasieff. Good work by Shustikov. He's quite happy on the ball. He was dispossessed in the end by Brian McClare, but very comfortable player indeed on the ball. And now Brian Robson gets his first touch of the game of the season. Giggs. Irwin. Alistair. And the so familiar style of Robson, just laying that one off again to Irwin, who gives it away rather clumsily. 5 minutes to go to half-time, still 0-0 in Moscow. Torpedo against Manchester United. Second leg, 0-0, the first leg score at Old Trafford. Phelan over the head of both McClare and Hughes, that. But one of those United strikers was being fouled. Free kick to Manchester United. Shivalov organises his defenders for the kick, knowing that the threat as ever will come from Pallister and Bruce, who's moved up to a position on the left edge of the penalty area as we watch. And it goes from Webb. Not the best free kick though. And suddenly they break very suddenly, and Inns a bit fortunate to get away with that challenge, I thought. But anyway, he certainly did the effective thing and stopped Torpedo in full flight.
Well, with only a couple of minutes to go, I think United will be quite happy with where the first half has gone if it stays at 0-0. I would think that in the first 50 minutes of the second half, again, take it a bit, sort of, don't let them get too much pressure on them. And then really what they've then got to do, and I feel they're capable of that, is to take the game to Torpedo Moscow, because I feel that if they could stem the first 50 minutes of the second half, United could go on and win this game.
Free kick to Torpedo. Afanasiev will take it. Just a little under 4 minutes remaining now to half-time. Kalalaya beaten by Phelan. Good tackle by Shustikov. Really like him. He looks a smashing player in the middle of the field. Chugainov finding Grishin. That was a trifle optimistic by Grishin. Kalalaya never going to reach that one, nor indeed would Linford Christie.
And that has been the main, hasn't it? They've played quite well, some lovely little moves, but it seems again, and it happens so many times in football, but the final ball has not been a good one.
It's Shustikov again. They've got to keep a careful eye on him. He's beginning to control things a little bit there in the middle of the park, but he's given it away now. Good running by Robson. So good at keeping the ball, isn't he, in those situations. He feeds Webb. Alistair now for United. Only 2 minutes on the watch now before half-time. Giggs making a run again down the left, pulls it back towards Inns, and a good layoff, or was it? Not yet. He finally does lay it off Webb, and Webb ran into the crowd of defenders, but it breaks for Giggs. Whipped in again, and the goalkeeper and McClare almost punished him for the handling error.
Well, again, it was a good move by United, wasn't it? They had 2 or 3, and as I said before, if you can get the ball out to Giggs, he's so dangerous. Ball comes in, awful ball for defenders. It was Robson who got the shot in there. Goalkeeper had made a marvellous save, and before McClare can get in.
But worryingly for United, it's Robson who is down injured now in that melee.
Well, he's such a brave player in those situations, isn't he?
He could well have produced the goal there for United within a couple of minutes of coming on as substitute. It's a hamstring injury he's had, remember. And that would be very worrying for Alex Ferguson, who was quite prepared to have played Brian Robson from the start today, had it been necessary, but chose to put him on the bench in the end. Lee Martin, incidentally, out of contention for a place with a virus. Robson's all right again. And then it goes to the near post, and Hughes is almost onto it, and Robson again in the thick of things as ever, but a goal kick.
It was strange, that, wasn't it? I don't know if we'll be able to see it again, but, you know, when the ball came in, it looked as though Hughes was going to have a free hit. I don't know whether it was a shout from Robson or not, but Hughes seemed to leave it.
Well, we've had 45 minutes now.
It just shows you, since Robson come on, that United have looked up really big dangers, haven't they?
Well, if Dennis Law reached out now, he could grab the ball that's that close to us here. Phelan, cool play. On Pallister, on to Robson. Push for Hughes. Challenge from behind, no free kick given. Or has it been yet? Thought the referee was going to let them play on, but he has whistled and shown the yellow card. I think Vostro Savlin was the player booked, or it could have been the number 2, Mironov. Just kind of waved it there, the referee. Looking to decide which player he cautioned. And that, in fact, is the end of the half. The referee has blown the half-time whistle, and a good half for Manchester United here in Moscow. The half-time scoreline, Torpedo Moscow 0, Manchester United 0. We'll be back with views of Ron Atkinson and Ian St. John right after the...